Morning.
Good morning, Acting Governor.
How are you doing? Have a seat. Yeah. That's right. Are we ready? Are we ready? Ready? All right. Good morning. Welcome to Adelut. The time is 9:02 a.m. on June 30th, 2025. And I'm very pleased to call the G3 Steering Committee meeting to order. And our first order of business will be an update from Dr. Austin Shelton. And of course, I do want to recognize and just say I'm very proud that Dr. Shelton's been recognized really as a change agent and an excellent figure in this work that we're doing. This recognition is well deserved, but also benefits and allows us to get some spotlight and shine on all the great work that you're all doing out there. So, Dr. Shelton.
Thank you, Acting Governor. And yes, thank you to all of you, our G3 working group, for all the amazing work that you're doing. It's getting tracked on our Guam Green Growth dashboard, and I think the world is really taking notice of that. We're showing all of the thousands of impacts that we're doing here locally and how that's contributing to global impact. And that's really why the American leadership on SDGs wanted to do a profile and really feature the work that we have here at Guam Green Growth. And all of that continues to build not just for Guam, but also regionally. As we've mentioned in past Guam Green Growth meetings, we were able to help the CNMI launch their Green Growth Initiative, followed by Palau Green Growth. And this week, during the Micronesia Island Forum in the Marshall Islands, President Heine will be launching the Republic of the Marshall Islands Green Growth. So we're really excited about that. And I believe the governor will be there with her. And during our conference on island sustainability that the governor co-chaired with our University of Guam President Enriquez back in April, there was a commitment then that President Heine made to launch green growth in the Marshall Islands. And so that's coming to fruition this week, and we're really excited for them to build on that. And our team here at the Guam Green Growth Initiative will be able to continue to support that. We've been doing things like assisting with their dashboard creations alongside with Hawaii Green Growth and the Local 2030 team. We also assist in writing grants, and hopefully they will be able to create their own circular economy makerspaces. And that's something that all of our islands have in common, to try to reduce some of our dependence on outside resources. Because we're importing over 90% of all of our food and goods we consume. So if we can turn the biggest resource that we have here, which is actually something we've been calling waste and burying into landfills, and turn them into new marketable products, that's one area that's really ripe for green economic growth. So we're excited to see that spread throughout the islands here in Micronesia and the Pacific and elsewhere as well. So a couple updates that we have from our G3 team based at the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Sea Grant are things like our Guam Green Growth Conservation Corps. We are currently in an active season. There's 12 members that are working full-time. During this 6-month period, they're getting workforce development training in the green economy and things like agriculture, aquaculture, invasive species removal, and biosecurity. They're going to be doing things like removing invasive algae from the beach in Pidi. They've been working with places like Mr. Rubbishman to learn how to recycle and advance the circular economy. And also every week we are working with the Mayor's Council of Guam, going village to village, doing island beautification events. So there's been hundreds of bags and thousands of pounds of general waste, bulk white good waste that has been coming off of the streets and in these different illegal dumping sites, and they've been also getting recycled and put into the proper places. So we continue to move that forward, and I believe this week, Friday, 8 o'clock, will be the Santa Rita Island Beautification event, and then it will move to Hoggett after that the following week. Some other good news, I know there's been a lot of transitions in some of our grants, a couple terminations, some pauses. But one good news area is that we do have a new grant from U.S. Fish and Wildlife, U.S. Forest Service funding through the organization Kupu in Hawaii that has been supporting some of our G3 Kupu Corps work. They've been able to add things like additional funding for the stipends, so we were able to increase the workforce development stipends from up to a little over $15 per hour now. But the biggest benefit is that our Conservation Corps members, when they finish the 6-month program, are also going to get education stipends so that they'll be able to pay tuition at GCC or UOG and continue to get advanced training in these topics. Then we're also adding a brand new conservation corps called the Guam Green Growth Grow Corps, and that GROW stands for the Guam Restoration of Watersheds. So this corps, instead of going to all these different sites around the island over 6 months, they will be focused on watershed restoration work. So going out to collect seeds, propagating tree seedlings in a nursery, then outplanting them. And we're going to be working closely with our GROW team at UOG, but also with the Department of Agriculture's Division of Forestry and Soil Resources. And hopefully we're going to get some, not just out in the watersheds where you have to hike to see them, but some community planting areas throughout the villages too. So we're excited for that 6 months. That's going to be more jobs and more trained individuals to go into our green workforce. Another update that I have from our colleagues at the Local 2030 Islands Network is that the CEO of Hawaii Green Growth recently transitioned to become the president of the East-West Center. So we congratulate Celeste Connors, who's been really instrumental in all the work that we've been doing since we started Guam Green Growth. And so that will be some changes. We'll see who will take on leadership at Hawaii Green Growth and Local 2030, but they remain committed to supporting our efforts here in Guam. One more thing is that our other conservation corps, the Arts Corps, where we got support originally from the governor's Youth Empowerment and Education Assistance Grant. All the murals are now completed, and we are going to be holding a few launch events, and maybe Kyle will speak about some potential dates for this, but perhaps the first one will be one of the most noticeable ones, the Rexall Drugs building in Tumuni before you pass ITC. There's a beautiful one with the proas and also the native birds, and you'll see plenty of others throughout the different villages. The signs are slowly going up with the associated SDG, the G3 logo, the governor's logo. So we're also working with the Guam Visitors Bureau to have these sites around so that you can go out and collect your pictures with the murals and also make it a very interactive educational experience. And lastly, at the conclusion of this meeting, we have an exciting launch of our National Science Foundation Navigating Home. One of our newest fellows, Justin Cruz, will be introduced. He got some off-island training, and the purpose of this program is that when we have advanced training in the sciences and sustainability and environmental science, we try to find a way to bring back these trained individuals home. So they are working and they're getting their PhDs or different advanced degrees, and we give them a one-way ticket home, and then we get them a year's salary to work in one of our agencies or at the university, and then the Lieutenant Governor, as our co-principal investigator on the project, helps to facilitate with our agencies to be able to hire these individuals full-time so we keep them in the workforce, and this reduces our brain drain overall and adds to that advanced workforce. So these are my updates so far. Thank you, Acting Governor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shelton. I also want to recognize that in the room with us, we have a number of our interns with the Summer Youth Employment Program. They are assigned to the Guam State Clearinghouse, which, as you know, of course, plays a supporting role here with the steering committee. But really, the Summer Youth Program, in essence, really is so in line with the objectives that we have, trying to make sure that we get interest and place the work of sustainable development with young people's action. That really is the most sustainable thing we can do, but it also is kind of charts our course for guaranteeing that we're always going to have forward movement in the things we do. And in fact, that's the reason why this partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability, where a lot of the best youthful minds are at the university, and activating them is always a very good thing. So that being said, we are experiencing, of course, a big disruption, right? And I've talked about this in a few talks I've had. There is a disruption that has occurred in the national government, and all of us are seeing it in different ways. It is either through the elimination or modification of funding opportunities that once were available, that are focused on climate change, resiliency, etc. But of course, I also think that we had unprecedented access to resources in these last few years. And I know that there were so many projects and so much work that has been enabled because of that unprecedented opportunity. And so in many ways, a lot of the research that has been done is giving us the resilience to navigate through these next few years and be able to not only guide our practice and guide our work, but also bridge us to new opportunities. I'm really pleased to see different funding streams coming up with Kupu, for example. The same goes for us with the Department of Interior and et cetera. You know, I mean, there are some funds or funding streams that are delayed in transmittal to us. You know, in fact, we focus a whole bunch of interior education money on providing scholarship programs for trade schools at Trades Academy or adult learning, getting GEDs, things like that. Those haven't been released to us yet, but you know, it looks like we're just waiting now. So looks like we're going to continue. That being said, programs that we're supporting expanding cultural programming have been eliminated. So, you know, I mean, we had an approved project that that was in the funding stream to expand Chamorro language cultural practitioners, to expand the network of teachers. That has been disapproved by the Department of Interior because of the purge against the DEI. In other fronts, right, we're monitoring the funding supports at Guam EPA or coming out of US EPA. So they've already telegraphed that environmental justice programs are going to be eliminated. There are areas in the Coastal Zone Management Program that are of concern. So, you know, we'll navigate these. We're trying to do our best, trying to figure out the path forward. But like I said, you know, as challenging as it can be, you know, just always think about the things that we were able to accomplish and all the work that is enabling us to do right now. That's kind of like the posture I would really think that we should be in. All right, so we will now transition, and I will call on Cam now. Will be next to provide her update.
I wanted to just, thank you. I wanted to inform the steering committee that since April of 2025, I've received updates from the following agencies: the Bureau of Statistics and Planning, the Guam Department of Agriculture, GORA, the Department of Public Health and Social Services, Guam Police Department, Guam Department of Education, GCA Trades Academy, the Commission on Decolonization, Micronesia Challenge, the Guam Southern Soil and Water Conservation District, the Guam Power Authority, Guam Energy Office, the Community Defense Liaison Office, and the Port Authority of Guam. I continue to update the action framework with all of this progress being reported to me. Of course, the action framework is available upon request. This working document will be continued to be updated. with our progress as we continue to prepare for the biannual meeting report, which will be held in September or October. That date has yet to be confirmed, but I wanted to thank the steering committee co-chairs for their contribution and their time to the initiative. Thank you.
All right, Cam, thank you very much. We'll now do general updates from the Healthy and Prosperous Communities. We'll have Art San Agustin.
Thank you, Acting Governor, and everyone that is here with us on this work group. Thanks.
Thank you, Cam. Acting Governor and everyone else in this work group, good morning and half a day. For the Healthy and Prosperous Community, I will do part of the report, and my co-chair Lola from Bureau of Statistics and Plans will also contribute to this report. So let me go ahead and start with the Women, Infant, Children PROUP, which is our Zero Hunger initiative. So just want to share with everybody that if we look at the data from fiscal year 21 up through fiscal year 24, we have seen an increase of 874 unduplicated enrollees in this program. In FY21, there were 8,996 enrollees. In FY24, there are now 9,870 enrollees. In terms of the food benefits spent at retailers, in 21, the program spent $5,055,477, and that we're using as our baseline. That's the data we have at this time. In FY22, it's $6,262,461,000. In FY23, the program spent $7,403,107,000, and in FY24, it has spent $8,343,770,000. Cumulative all 4 years, this program has spent on our local retailers $27,064,815,000. In terms of our elderly nutrition program, these are the meals for the seniors who are either homebound, and that's our home delivered meals C2, and with those going to the senior citizen centers or the adult daycare centers, which is congregate or C1. They have served for the total meals served is 4,326,219 meals, and this spans over fiscal years 19 all the way through 25. And they have account up through March of this fiscal year. In terms of just 5 years, 2020 to 2024, they did serve 3,213,525 meals. And these meals are critical to our seniors who go to either the adult daycare center or our senior centers, or those that were homebound. In terms of SNAP, which is formerly our food stamp program, starting with fiscal year 21, they spent $339 million at our retailers. In FY22, it went up to $352 million. FY23 and 24 at $372 million. As of fiscal year 25, up through March 31st of this year, they have spent $61,667,175,000. In terms of the numbers of families they serve, the report is showing 20,587. As of fiscal year 25, the number of participants for fiscal year 25 alone is 35,318. These are all members of household and their family composition. And so with that, looking at our 2020 census of 153,836, we're seeing about 23% of our Guam population is on this program. Now, we look at the estimated population for 2025 of 168,999,000 individuals. It goes down to 21%. And so that's what we have with regards to the public health programs that are supporting and addressing zero hunger while we're building our local capacity for research. We're looking at building our local capacity for local production of our local farmers.
And part of that $372 million for FY, that was cumulative.
For the fiscal year, but for both 23 and 24, each year they spent $372 million.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, there's just these are the same amount, and so in fiscal year 23, it was $372,614,261,000. In FY24, it's $372,750,000 and $245,000. Okay, and Lola's got also some updates.
Good morning. So the updates I'm providing is just information that was collected from our networking partners that's part of the G3 Healthy and Prosperous Community. So under Zero Hunger, under the goal of invest in building appropriate food systems resiliency capacity by increasing the productivity of local agriculture production systems, the Department of Agriculture reported that they implemented a NIFWIT grant, which is from the National Fish Wildlife Foundation project to eradicate feral pigs in farm areas. Department of Agriculture also has gotten technical assistance from USDA, and I guess they're going to incorporate some type of GIS training. So on this areas with regards on coordinating food system policies with regional leadership forums, Department of Agriculture sits in SBC for the Land Resources Division, and they were able to, with other Pacific Islands, develop the first regional Pacific strategy in food and agriculture. I will request from Chelsea to get access to that information so we can share with the G3 and post it on the website. Now over to good health and well-being. Under decreased road accidents, that goal there, the Department of, I guess this is funding from DPW, Highway Safety Fund, which is sub-awarded to the Guam Police Department. As of June 27, there was 23 checkpoints that were conducted. And GPD continues to receive funding from DPW to implement this. Now, under the same thing as the focus is on reduce obesity and the risk of chronic disease. The update here for as far as the gyms, the new Maristo gym ribbon cutting was held October 2024. The main yellow gym is 95% completed. The punch list items still remain. Our ribbon cutting is scheduled sometime in August. The adjacent baseball field improvement also is 98% completed with phase 2 lighting upgrades, and this will happen later in the year. The Jigo gym had post-war repairs and is fully operational, but is slated for hardening along with Talofofo, Haga, Agana Heights, and Jonya. The Jonya gym is currently offline right now. So the Talofofo Little League field across from the church has been acquired are in escrow. Plans are to purchase 5 lots in Inalahan surrounding the Gadao Cave for eventual development into a park. The Tamuni gym is back, it's operational after more than $800,000 in repairs that were made. There are 5 new proposed gyms that are in the final stages of the grant award process. This is Asen, PD, Kimatak, Inalahan, and MTM. All except Asen will have a mini skate park adjacent to it. The Paseo Stadium is in procurement for Mawa repairs, and then there are new playground equipment installed at Tizan, and its adjacent park is open and fully operational. Now with the goals with regards to reduced tobacco use, this is information that I received from the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. So as of January 27, 2025, JIBWIC launched the Merchant Education Program to decrease use of nicotine project. This program consists of vendors of tobacco and vape products through May 2025. 100 retailers were randomly selected to take part in the program. Guam FY 2025 annual signer report reported 15 out of 270 eligible retailers inspected were found in violation of tobacco regulations, with 3 of these violations being repeat offenders within the past 5 years. Now on strengthening the prevention and treatment of substance abuse, including narcotic drug abuse and harmful use of alcohol. Information again that I received from JIBWIC is that their warm line is still operational and services are being provided by TOPI. This is a federally funded project. Now, with regards to the screening, brief intervention, and referral to treatment, this program is not operational at this time. Now, for the goal to expand current substance use disorder treatment services by adding more bed spaces in residential treatment facilities, the Guam Behavioral Health has drafted an MOU with GURA that is pending edits at this time. And this is basically for the cottage home that's located up in Talofofo. Now, for to increase their bed space, one of the SMART objective was to open a 3.7 withdrawal management unit at Guam Behavioral to provide 16 beds. This was actually implemented earlier, I'm going to say, was it 2021 or 2022? So the 3.7 unit is a bed unit and continues to be operational with a staff of 4. The nursing staff rotate and are not assigned to the 3.7 unit. The 3.7 unit admissions for FY 2025 is 86. Since FY 2025, there were 44 females and 42 males that took part in the program. Now for RSAT. JBIC provides level 3.5 care to the RSAT participants at DOC. The 33rd cycle is ongoing. It started on March 17, 2025 with 12 participants. And this program is grant funded. Now the Guma Pamalan Lighthouse Recovery, this is operational as well. And so this facility has the capacity to provide 17 bed space, and they could go up to 20. So on average, since they opened, the facility is providing treatment to 12 to 15 clients. The same thing for, this is to certify the number of drugs and alcohol counselors. Since the inception of the GCC certification program, there has been 2 student cohorts. Across both cohorts, 5 out of 8 students successfully completed the program. Although none of the students are yet certified, 5, 1 specializing in prevention and 4 in substance use disorder counseling, took and passed the certification exam in 2022 and 2024. To achieve full certification, the students must now complete 3,000 to 6,000 hours of supervised work experience. So right now, all 5 of the students are currently accumulating their required hours. Now for decent work and growth, the goal here is to provide access to safe, inclusive and accessible green and public spaces for women and children, older persons with disability. Department of Agriculture reported that the forest system plan has been adopted, which will designate green spaces and conservation areas. The Department of Agriculture is also working in process of developing the rules and regulations for the green space and conservation areas of the forest system plan. Department of Agriculture is also working, this is with their Forest and Soil Resource Division. They're working with Island Girl Power to clean up green spaces in Dededo. This is the update I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, there's been, just to add on, there has been a significant posture change for homelessness, and the Office of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention is now a division of the Guam Department of Public Health and Social Services in an effort to tighten and improve responsiveness. And so thank you for that update. I know that it can sound a lot, but I think it's an indication about the multiple efforts that are happening in the different spaces that is addressing a big issue, which is poverty. And so, of course, we see the economic benefit of all of the food security programs, but at the same time, we also see 23% of our population is on food stamps, which means that they're still living in situations that require a bit more assistance. That that's one measure that we have to be very conscious of. All right, moving on to the Educated, Capable, and Compassionate Island Committee. Lonnie Brennan.
Thank you. So the Educated, Mary Okada is off island, and the Capable, Regine, is also in Tokyo. So you're left with me, the compassionate person. And aside from the updates that were received from CAM by the subcommittee partners, I did want to touch on the reducing Guam poverty rate through increased skill building and training job preparedness programs. That is the objective, to develop Guam's workforce through boot camps, summer camps, Guam Trades Academy, the Department of Labor youth programs, as well as the 2025 Governor's Summer Youth Program, which the acting governor alluded to earlier, with the added component of the Child Care Workforce Development Program. This year, the GSUP hired just under 900 youth participants for the 6-week program. GDOE and DYA are engaged in a youth leadership collaborative culminating in the Governor's Summer Youth Employment and Service Learning Summit, which really was the brain seat of the Lieutenant Governor and retired teachers Rosla Annan and Carlene Vilkuki-Costa, who understand the importance of positive youth development opportunities for our youth for a thriving island. This year's summit will be Building Guam's Workforce, one teen at a time, and it's scheduled for July 8th and 9th, so we hope to see some of the Guam State Clearinghouse youth partners, youth interns there. GCC is currently holding a summer criminal justice class. It's a pilot course wherein students earn high school credits, and hopefully it'll foster an interest in becoming law enforcement officers or related field partners. This is another win-win for workforce development opportunity for the youth of our island. Additionally, our work with the judiciary and multiple juvenile justice systems partners is ongoing in transforming our island's juvenile justice continuum. Judiciary-led subcommittees meet monthly to follow up on key recommendations to improve the overall response to juveniles who interact with the system, particularly dually involved youth who are part of the child welfare system and the juvenile justice system. The goal is continuous quality improvement grounded in adolescent research, youth programming, reentry, equity, restorative justice, and trauma-informed care. With the current political landscape, we were really concerned about our PREA funding, which we had announced that we received $500,000.
But Jen, PREA, for those that don't know, is the
PREA is the Prison Rape Elimination Act, and it is mandated for both adult and juvenile correctional facilities. And we received the Department of Youth Affairs received $500,000 with the help of BSP, and at the beginning of the year we were notified that it was on hold. But just recently we gained access to the $500,000. So we were concerned because it has a lot of information on equity, diversity, and transgender youth. And so we're kind of worried, but we did get it. So we're super excited to start using it. Additionally, kind of what's on our radar is emerging adults and their implication not only on prison overcrowding, but on our appropriate response to how we treat emerging adults. So if any of my system partners, and I see Bert there, if he wants to announce anything, or unless I've covered it.
Sure, with the Trades Academy, I don't need a mic, right?
pass it back up.
With the Trades Academy, basically, we're a demand-based organization, we're a nonprofit, and we look for opportunities. And so some of the things that we've started off this year include our new diesel mechanic program. And it's a class that's was full on the onset, and we're looking at starting a second one, and it's basically diesel heavy truck classes. Everybody in that class is an apprentice. And for the first time since we've started 19 years ago, more than half of our population in our classes right now are apprentices. That means they're working, they're being trained by employers while they're taking classes from us. That was an objective that we first started back in 2006, was we thought we were doing the apprenticeship program when we were basically doing related classroom instruction for an apprenticeship program. But we've now exceeded more than half of our population. Right now, our last count was 370. We're tracking close to 400 students at any given time in our classes. But more than half of them are apprentices right now, which is nice. We've also been doing crane training, providing certification for crane operators. A large portion of the demand for that is NAVFAC enforcing the OSHA regulations on crane certification. We're doing American Concrete Institute classes, bringing in somebody from the Houston chapter of American Concrete Institute. They come out once a year. Those classes will be in August. We're also working with an organization from Saipan, a nonprofit, on starting maritime classes that we're hoping this month, well, next month in July, to do the first marine classes on island. We built a fire pit. Basically, it's a mock-up of a ship with appliances inside, complete with the ability to light it on fire. We brought the fire department over to make sure that we were in compliance. And they said, yes, but can we use it also? And so we've been fighting. We did the fire academy was over there putting out fires in our parking lot. But it's basically a container that's got appliances in it. It's piped with LP gas that's underwater. so that it can spread. And they light it up on fire. Once it gets hot enough, these guys go in and put out the fire. And so it's live action. The only other facility very similar is up at Anderson, and they have additional-based access. So we're able to do that now up in TGen. But we've got a lot of other programs going on. We're also helping an organization that's looking at starting airline industry classes on Guam, pilot training, flight attendants, ramp personnel, and A&P mechanics. They came to us asking whether we could do it, and we're saying, no, that's not in our area, but we can show you how to do it based on our model. We've helped with the maritime program, and more recently, there's a discussion about doing a UXO, explosive ordnance training program here. That's an expensive program because of the restrictions on explosives, and part of the training means you're actually dealing with live explosives and you're being able to set them off.
And people don't realize that that's a critical skill set because we're still dealing with World War II ordinances throughout the island.
Yeah, I know. It brought back memories because I used to collect it when I was a kid. But yeah, we're moving, and we're more recently, in about 10 days from now, Saipan will be doing a groundbreaking for the new Northern Marianas Tech Institute. It's a nonprofit that we helped start doing NCCR classes in Saipan, and now they've expanded as a government agency. They took the federal grant that we wrote to get our building in TGen and borrowed it and got a $10 million grant to construct the new
Very good. That's the smartest way. All right, I do see UOG Vice President and Provost Dr. Charlene Santos-Bama in the room. Also, if there's anything that you'd like to add, you're welcome. But I do want to recognize that attending the University of Guam graduation this last month, I guess, very pleased to see that the large graduating class from the School of Engineering, I think were there about 30 people graduating with civil engineering degrees, correct?
Correct.
So, I mean, I think that is also something to be, to take notice of. It is, and of course, congratulations on the recent accreditation of that school as well. So, work going on at the University of Guam as well. Thank you. Now, our next is Sustainable Homes, Utilities, and Transportation. Do we have somebody making a report for that group? Clint.
Thank you, Acting Governor. I've recently was recently appointed as the chair of this working group, so bear with me. I'm still sort of getting caught up with all of this. So the latest I have is Guam Housing Corporation completed their renovations to 23 homes at Atlantic Gardens, and they rented those to qualifying families. GPA recently has been working with the advisory group for Guam 100 and awarded funding for phase 2. GPA Solar PV virtual power plant 8 megawatt aggregate projects are in development, including 5 schools at 1 megawatt plus battery energy storage systems. And that's something that's in progress and in the works right now. It's a big program that the GPA is working on. Also, they have awarded some Department of Energy grants for modular microgrid controllers, as well as the CCU approval of 2 phase 4 solar projects. That correct? We have a representative from GPA here. Mr. Cruz is here with us. So if I say anything incorrect, I know you'll correct me.
Yeah, you will. Probably by the end of July. Probably by the end of July, we should have those 3 contracts already into the PUC. Like the other 2, one of them is stalled because they're positioning the golf course, and that has its own issues. And the other one asked for some legal stuff that we need to read.
Thank you. All right, the Community Defense, Guam Waterworks Authority, they completed Northern District Wastewater Treatment Plant construction, and National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit compliance has been achieved. Community Defense Liaison Office, they've awarded some grants to the Port Authority of Guam, designating Port Authority as a subrecipient to fund some critical infrastructure improvements. That includes PAG Construction Technical Services, PAG In-Water Infrastructure Study, and Owner Agent Engineering Services. The Port Authority of Guam has also been working with FEMA to take a look at what they can get repaired from the damages sustained by Typhoon Mawar, They conducted a berthing and mooring analysis of F1 Pier, replaced several mooring and resting dolphins at F1 Pier, repaired the main pier at F1, and they're maintaining and improving the Port Authority of Guam's infrastructure and commitment to modernizing and ensuring resilience of the port facilities. They conducted and completed environmental assessment and implemented a compensatory mitigation plan for the relocation of 258 coral colonies with monitoring, construction and removal, stormwater management, sea turtle conservation, and silt and sediment control. Their analysis in support of creating a port sustainability and resiliency plan is still in progress. Now, the Guam Energy Office, they've received $1.5 million in an EECBG award for government-owned and operated buildings and facilities. What this will do is allow solar panels on selected government buildings, outdoor solar LED lighting at locations to be identified by village mayors, a project they're working together with the mayors on, as well as outdoor solar LED lights at selected parks. Their state energy program awarded them $2.5 million. So they have a bid in progress for electric vehicles, installing charging stations to support those vehicles, and also working with the Port Authority of Guam for a sea walk lighting project. Weatherization assistance program, $1.3 million. And they're still completing Ironwood housing and dead and individual homes across the island. They also, Guam Energy Office received $1.1 million in LIHEAP, Low Income Housing Energy Assistance Program. And they're working with GPA, I believe, to identify, they've been working with GPA to identify customers who are in arrears to help them pay for that, working with Public Health and Social Services to identify pre-qualified customers who are in arrears. That official launch date is forthcoming. They've also been working on their Energy Auditor Training Grant Program to train and certify energy auditors. That's the latest I have from our working group. Thank you.
Great, and just to add, there's noticeable work with Public Works with striping and other safety measures going on, and village streets road projects have restarted with projects in Pneumatic going on this week. So just so you know, I think what they're doing is they're Pneumatic, and they're going to be going to Mariso and Inalahan, looking at the main road actually, and making significant repairs there for residents and visitors and all of us. Okay, moving on to Thriving Natural Resources, and I see Dr. Fran Castro is there. And I think her partner is going to the Marshall Islands today.
She's there already.
Okay.
Good morning, Acting Governor. So just some progress from since our last meeting. So the MC regional meeting was held here on Guam December last year, and the meeting was a result of the 26th MIF that was held here on Guam. And the goal of the meeting was to define effective management of 50% marine resources and 30% terrestrial resources, as well as determine how to measure that progress, and then estimate the cost per jurisdiction to be able to reach their goals. And I think at that meeting, Guam was estimated at needing 25 million. And then also the group explored innovative finance mechanisms. The Guam Forest System Plan was approved by the legislature also in December. The Forest System Plan delivers a suite of benefits, ecologically, environmentally, and socially, and it represents a strategic investment in Guam's natural capital and its long-term sustainability. So just reporting on the goals, so life on land, terrestrial. The GROW project continues with planting events scheduled for this summer, so look out for some announcements coming up. And last year, GROW planted like over 5,000 trees in Ugam. The Manilguez Watershed Plan was adopted last week by the Watershed Working Group, and the Guam Coral Reef Initiative Program will be working on the Asan PD Watershed Plan this year. So these plans help to support like grant submissions for work in these areas. For Guam Forestry, the Forest Stewardship Program and America the Beautiful Challenge, they planted like 2,400 trees, native and acacia, from September to March of this year. The Urban and Community Forestry Program planted 333 plants and donated 200 to communities back in September. They had a total of 19 outreach events talking about the total land area burned here on Guam, which was about 6.6% that was burned. This was coming from hazard mitigation data. And then the Cooperative Fire Protection Program also had 14 outreach events talking about wildfire awareness. The Invasive Species Regional Invasive Species Council voted to update the invasive species plan. Northern and Southern Conservation Districts are partnering with the USDA Animal, Plant and Health on trapping, and they've started a pilot program using their own trapping methods. Together with Department of Agriculture, CIS has begun the revision of the Guam State Wildlife Action Plan. For Life Below Water, the Division of Agriculture, with support from UOG, CIS, and Sea Grant, held a 3-day meeting back in December, and they began drafting management measures for 28 species that were being considered for management. Last week, we had stakeholder meetings also that were held in northern, central, and southern Guam to present the proposed regulations and obtain feedback from fishers. Proposed measures include size limits, mandatory licensing and catch reporting, ban on the harvesting of atuhong, the bumpet parrotfish, ban on commercial sale of 6 species, and limiting nighttime spearfishing. The Guian for Guahan, hosted by UOG, CIS, and Sea Grant, held their first Fish Fest in January at Chamorro Village. And then DAR also held fishing derbies at the Mazo Reservoir and Inawahan. For climate action, UOG, CIS, and Sea Grant and Co-Chair Banji participated in the U.S. Climate Alliance Learning Lab on quantifying greenhouse gas emissions in natural and working lands back in DC in March. The Guam Comprehensive Climate Action Plan through the EPA Climate Pollution Reduction Grant will contract the National Renewable Energy Lab to work on Guam's Comprehensive Climate Action Plan to estimate greenhouse gas emissions in different sectors, projections, and reduction targets. The U.S. Climate Alliance, Carlotta is our point of contact for Guam. They extended funding up to $118,000 to UOG, CIS, and Sea Grant to continue with the carbon credit certification process for the GROW project in Ugam. The land license was also extended to 30 more years to correspond to the GOAT standard requirements. The U.S. Climate Alliance also provided $119,000 through the Climate Leadership Grant Program to hire a climate action coordinator to be housed here at the governor's office under Carlotta. And this position will support the creation of climate policies, and we are currently accepting applications. The carbon offset project is ongoing. We had a stakeholder consultation meeting in April to introduce the project and obtain feedback. And UOG and CIS is still currently applying for the gold standard certification and will soon submit its preliminary report to gold standard. We hope to be certified by next year. Expected by the end of 2025, the G3 TNR group had set up a data collection system in place. So every June and December of this year, each partner will be sent a table listing metrics to track our progress. So each partner will have until the end of the month to fill out the table, and this is all accessible to all TNR participants. And the metrics listed are aligned with the metrics that were selected during the MC regional meeting held back in December. And we just started collection this month, so we'll be getting more data for our dashboard. The the Micronesia Challenge Ministers meeting was held in March this year. The goal of the meeting was to evaluate the financial commitments to the Micronesia Challenge, come up with endowment building strategies and how these commitments align with and support the Project Finance for Permanence, or PFP. The Enduring Earth Initiative and the PFP framework was presented to the ministers on how it can benefit the MC jurisdictions. And then recently, the MC regional team submitted a grant proposal to the Bezos Earth Fund to support the efforts to achieve the MC goals, and it's currently under negotiation and is progressing in a positive direction, and it's going to be in the high millions. We can't disclose the amount yet. The 27th Micronesian Island Forum is currently being held in Majuro. Leaders are expected to sign an MOU related to the PFP. The objective of the MOU is to formalize a mutual collaboration to develop a plan to achieve the MC conservation and community benefits goal by 2030. So the PFP would support regional conservation workforce, like jobs, diversified economic opportunities, livelihoods, enhanced quality of life, and increased food security, with the goal to protect and effectively manage marine and terrestrial resources. Also expected at the MIF is an endorsement letter to President Trump to implement the U.S. Department of Defense funded regional biosecurity plan for Micronesia, as well as DoD installations. So among many other benefits, implementing this plan will ensure that our terrestrial and marine food systems are not decimated by non-native invasive species. And then just some needs in accomplishing our goals, we applied for hazard mitigation grants for climate resilience plan for Guam, and a comprehensive watershed plan for one of the priority watersheds. I don't know if you have any updates on that.
I don't.
Okay.
But we'll find out.
We're also applying for a readiness and environmental protection integration, or REPI, for increasing and managing reforestation efforts in Seti Bay and Ugam through the GROW project. And the proposal will include training the GROW team in archaeology, as well as including Seti Bay Forest into the carbon credit certification already underway. And that will be between $500,000 to $1 million. It's not submitted yet, but it's on the way. And I just wanted to give recognition to Calvo's Insurance, Oxford Properties, and Tanota Partners for extending their license for us to use the Ugam property for conservation practices. And lastly, there will be a regional biosecurity workshop that will be held in Saipan in August 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran. All right, moving on to sustainable alliances. We got Melvin Wampat Borja. Fran, can you pass him?
We're reporting for Sustainable Alliances Working Group. Our first objective to have a visiting mission from the United Nations targeting political status by 2025. Just as context, we're likely not going to meet this goal in 2025, and a lot of this is changed because of change in the U.S. administration. So we had a commitment from the Biden administration to authorize the visiting mission with the C-24, which is now kind of changed under President Trump. But it's notable that in March of 2025, we attended the UN C-24 Pacific Regional Seminar, in which we reaffirmed our request for a visiting mission. There was substantial support from members of the C-24, and we just received the draft resolution, or the adopted resolution by the C-24 that recognizes in our current resolution that language. We will be working with the US UN this year, hopefully in October, for the fourth committee to try to follow up on authorization by the United States. I'm just going to report on the ones that are different than biannual, yeah? Okay. For the next update, SMART objective to participate in the Micronesian Islands Forum and advocate for Guam's inclusion on Compact of Free Association negotiations. This is really more just regional collaboration since Compact negotiations have ended. as Fran mentioned, MIF is going on now. We submitted a resolution that will be introduced by Governor that supports Guam's quest for decolonization along with the CNMI. It's notable that the RMI has invited other international organizations, including SPC, SPREP, and the Special United Nations Commission, and hope that this will broaden international regional conversations on this topic. And Smart Objective 2.3 to develop and train develop a training program for diplomats through the University of Guam and to identify and engage with regional international partners. We had previously applied for a grant from the Council of Indigenous Peoples in Taiwan. We did not receive the grant. However, we are working now on an application to an ANA grant, which is under the Social and Economic Developmental Strategies. We're collaborating with Dr. Kenneth Kofagan Cooper and Yoji Mark to apply for a 3-year grant to fund the establishment of an external engagement training program with the External Engagement Office. Okay, I have other updates, but they were included in the biannual. We're not going to go over that, right? Okay, that's all the new stuff.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Any announcements? John?
We're doing a lot. Okay, so I'll just give a rundown of what we're doing, because it all melds into reliability, resiliency, and affordability. So we have 3 major bids that are going to be coming out. One is the battery for grid services bid. Every time you replace a synchronous generator, regular generator, with an inverter-based resource, you add to the instability of the grid. And we will have more PV going into the grid during the day than we will have load for. So we need to shift that. Also, because it's a huge chunk of PV, that also means that when a big rain cloud comes by, and we load shed 4 times over the last year because of PV dropouts. We need the battery to be there so that if that dropout happens, we don't go black. And we need to make sure that these 3 bids are not derailed, because the proponents who are going to be putting in all this utility scale stuff, they're going to be pushing as hard as they can to get their projects up. So there's the battery for grid services. There's 180 megawatts, 90 megawatt hour battery, which is for fast grid services. And then there's a 90 megawatt, 360 megawatt hours for energy shifting. There is a bid that's being developed for a synchronous condenser, and that should help us in terms of running completely on renewable energy, just like Kauai. Kauai and I and a bunch of us at GPA about 10 years ago said we're going to need a synchronous condenser at some point, and we're going to be needing that. Then there's the autonomous grid, AI-based grid controller. Things are going to be happening too fast in the network for a lot of things that the dispatchers won't be able to see and comprehend and act. So for the most part, a lot of the things are going to be run by an AI computer. So that's part of this bid. I got an additional 5 grants, including a broadband technical assistance grant, and there's 2 grants that Clint mentioned. Thank you. And I have too many projects and not enough engineers. So all the managers are already saying stuff, giving the people more work. So we're going out finally for a strategic program management office that will help us staff up and train our existing newbies. And of the newbies, many of which have graduated from the civil engineering program at UOG. 5 of my engineers are enrolled in the transmission and distribution master's degree program at Gonzaga. So if there is a UOG electrical engineering
Charlene said it's
school, we will have adjunct professors. Right, thank you.
Very good, excellent. All right, and at this time, I would like to call up Justin Cruz, Emily Wendt, come forward. We're going to close our meeting today by by witnessing Justin entering into a workforce agreement for the Navigating Home project. I'll mention who Justin is on his personal side, and then we'll allow Austin and Emily to talk about the technical skills that he's going to be enabling. Justin is a 2009 graduate of Okadu High School. He graduated with a welding certificate from the University Technical Institute in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Really, one thing that I want to say is that he is an Army combat veteran with multiple decorations, including the Afghanistan Campaign Medal with Campaign Star and Army Commendation Medal. As I understand, he is a capoeira instructor.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And having conducted workshops around the world. Fran, I think you probably know this, he is an underwater photographer. Or maybe you didn't, then I imagine there might be some requests coming into Austin. So at this point, I will first pass this on to Dr. Shelton.
Thank you, Acting Governor. We were mentioning earlier at the beginning of the meeting that we received this grant from the National Science Foundation for a Navigating Home program. So what we found out over maybe just a few years ago, that we had funding from NSF EPSCoR. NSF includes, these are capacity building programs where we created maybe over 250 new research opportunities for students that never existed before in Guam. We're able to place our students in research laboratories. They got really top-notch experience combined with the education that they received from the University of Guam, and they were able to go into whatever graduate school they wanted. They're getting into master's programs, PhDs, a lot of times fully funded. And what we realize is that perhaps we're unintentionally adding to the brain drain if we're not taking the step to bring these trained individuals back home. And so the National Science Foundation agreed with us, and they gave us a mechanism to facilitate this, which is to give our those with advanced skills a one-way ticket home, and then a 1-year salary in an agency or in at the University of Guam to complete their first year of work, and then we do our best to get them into a full-time permanent job before that expiration date. And so we're really excited that Justin has decided to come back home with some advanced skills that he'll talk about and complete a really important project that's going to advance our island sustainability in great ways. And just want to recognize our Senior Vice President, Dr. Charlene Santos Bamba, for all of the support in what we're doing here for Navigating Home in all of our science programs.
And on that note, I am going to ask Dr. Charlene Santos Bamba to make some remarks. She is actually right now the acting president of the University of Guam. Charlene.
Thank you, Acting Governor. You know, the University of Guam is always very fortunate to have talented individuals work with us and to foster relationships and collaborations across the island and the region. And it's opportunities like this that we are able to plug up the brain drain. Those of us around the table made the decision to stay home and plug up that drain. And now it's our chance and our work to bring our talent back to Guam. And so, Justin, congratulations. Thank you for making that decision. And more importantly, thank you for recognizing that Guam needs help and that we want our people to fill those gaps, because there's no one else in the world who can make better decisions for ourselves than the people of Guam and the region. So to ASI, to CISC Grant, the Navigating Home Project, NSF, and all our partners, Situsmasi.
And on that note, we're going to ask Justin to introduce himself to us and to introduce his work. Or are we talking to Emily? Okay, Justin.
How's it going? I'm Justin Cruz. Born and raised in Dededo. Went to many different schools here and recognize there's a lot of problems we could fix. And of course, we need to bring all that knowledge home so we can fix it ourselves. I didn't want to, I guess you could say, with my certificate and everything I learned, it was too easy to go to the States, get another job that could possibly provide a better life for me and my family. But if we don't fix it ourselves, it will never get fixed, is the way I see it. Exactly why I wanted to come up. Yeah. And, sorry,
Tell us about some work you've been doing already.
yeah, sure. So what I really wanted to focus on with my passion projects was, so where I grew up, we didn't have much to work with. And so we had to fix our own machines when our washer went out, fix our own generators, chainsaws, everything. And so we had a lot of waste to work with. And so what I always wanted to do was figure out what we could do with the material we had, which everyone regarded as waste. I saw it as material because I was a builder, fabricator. I like to make things, right? And so what I did is I just found, with Austin's help by buying the machines and getting them here, I was able to take plastic waste, which these are Skyflakes containers, turn them into basically plumber material that we could use. This is 1 inch thick with a really strong density, and turning it into a new product that we could sell. And that thing we could also have, sorry, it's a little heavy. We also working on prototyping more pack outs, or flat pack stools. So this is about 20 pounds, give or take. And the density is very strong here, put together. And the goal is to be able to have this where you can put it away, put it up when needed, and whatnot. And it's very strong, as you can see.
Oh my.
There's
I'm trying.
The density of plastic itself is also what's really bad, right? Plastic just is gonna last forever, but we take the best of that material and turn it into something else. This is gonna outlast all of us, just like plastic's naturally gonna do anyway. And then when we go to the family gatherings and we got the kids who want to stay on their iPads, we can help them stay a little busy. So this is one of two Guam's first plastic recycled kudzus. And it was let's get this right. The rebar, or sorry, the tip here was actually also recycled out of rebar from one of our partners who created it, blacksmithed it into the tip itself. So other than the screws that came from Home Depot, everything else is, recycled. And we could do more bigger ones for adults too. And then over here, one of my other passion projects was for one of my first schools I ever attended in Dededo was Maria Joa. We coordinated with one of the teachers there, and we acquired one of the desks that was going to be discarded because of the damage. And so the tabletop around the corners was getting damaged because it's compressed wood. It's not the best material. So as soon as it gets wet or as soon as kids spill something on it, it's going to be discarded. So I took the top and programmed the CNC to carve up the top into another Guam still, so we can actually use this. And then you see in the back all the kids' art pieces. So I did that to recycle at least that piece. And then from there, we took another plastic sheet and redid the top. I took all the rust off, repainted it, and now this could actually go back into the classroom and be reused. At the same time, I took the recycled sneeze guards from COVID that we just had laying around, I put a piece on top embedded so they can use it as a dry erase board. If they want to work on formulas, want to work on writing, they can still use this accordingly. So this is the kind of stuff I want to go back into the schools to also encourage and show people and the students what we can do with recycled material. Because right now it's endless, so.
Can you talk about the upcoming plan for work?
The upcoming plan for more of these is we're going to be collecting a lot more, and we're going to try to basically outfit one of the classrooms at UOG, and then also one of the public schools that we have here. And it's basically going to start as we're planting the seed to inspire people, to show them what we can do. You know, I'm not a full-fledged engineer or anything like that. I'm just a guy who served his country, you know, grew up in Swamp Road, and I can make a lot of things. So. There you go.
I'm gonna stand on that one, Justin.
Nice.
Going for a very good price.
And again, that's all Skyflake. So thank you to everybody who eats Skyflake. You can see the colors. Just right now, as you mentioned, this is all happening at the Guam Green Growth Makerspace and Innovation Hub down in the Chamorro Village. Every Wednesday, we are collecting plastics 2 and 5. So if you've got any 2 and 5s, and anybody watching online right now has those, that includes your Skyflakes containers, but also your laundry detergent, some of your other bottles. What's that? Yogurt, yeah, just bring a lot of the yogurt, very small. And we can get it all turned into all of this with the hard work of Emily and the team, and of course, Justin, our Navigating Home fellow. Let's get a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. Justin, you have to come on down. This is the official part. Miss Emily, please. You are going to be signing your working agreement here with the Navigating Home program. This is where it becomes official. This part's all about your credit score and how we're going to share that. This is in case we get divorced. That's a prenup, but okay. So right here, your official signing, ladies and gentlemen. Our Guam, UOG Guam, NSF Navigating Home fellow, Mr. Justin Joseph Cruz, putting pen to paper. It is official. You can keep the pen, it's the LTs. Okay, come on through. We can get Austin to sign as well. Dr. Shelton, of course, is the principal investigator for the Navigating Home program here.
And I also wanted to recognize besides our lieutenant, in addition to our lieutenant governor, our co-principal investigator on this grant, we also have the co-principal investigator, Dr. Cheryl Sengeza, who couldn't join us today, but she's running our near-peer mentorship and a lot of the programming that go along with our fellows. We also have Dr. Elsa Mouliner, who is our one of our mentors for the project that oversees those aspects, and Axel in the back is our program coordinator. So thank you to all of them for making this possible.
Sorry.
Very nice. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. And then hold for
Here, please. There you go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, and 1. Thank you.
All right. And with that, meeting is adjourned.